Well, hey guys, it's Mike Festiva here. Pretty excited to announce I finally bought the Crossfire Pro. I've been looking forward to this since they announced it months and months ago that this is a model that was going to be coming up pretty soon. If you're familiar with my channel at all, you've probably seen me building the mini articulating dump truck, and I've been using the original Crossfire quite a bit for cutting all the parts on that. So in this video we're going to be unboxing this thing, talking about it, assembling parts and pieces of it. I'm going to go over some of the features this has and compare it to the original Crossfire. If you guys are probably maybe have the original and you're thinking about upgrading, or maybe you haven't bought a CNC, you're on the fence about it, this video will kind of explain a little bit more between the original and the Pro model. So if you're interested in the video, please stick around, check it out.
Alright, just to let you guys know, I'm not really into unboxing videos, but because this is such a big kit, I figured I'd get some of this unboxing footage just so if you guys are interested in buying one of these things, you have an idea what comes in it. Keep in mind, if you order the Pro model here, it comes in 3 boxes and it's 223 pounds of material in these things. So it's definitely some hefty boxes. You'll want to get some friends to help you move some of the bigger ones. I got an additional 2 boxes because I bought the optional height control, and I also got the laptop stand with mine. So the Pro model was shipped really well. I found this to be the same with the original Crossfire. Those guys really take their time about making sure all the parts are wrapped up and protected really well. Nothing got damaged in shipping. And what always amazes me, for all the bags of hardware that these things come with, all the screws, washers, and spacers were all in every single bag. It's always nice when you get 30 bags of hardware and every single nut and bolt's in it. So those guys do a really good job at packaging these things. So here I'm just installing all the end caps and the legs for the leveling feet. I'm not going to lie guys, definitely was a bit of work trying to square up the lower frame section by myself. It would have been a lot easier with a friend. So if you get one of these tables, just consider having a friend come over, spend a few evenings in a row trying to build your table. It's a very precise machine, so the more time you spend just leveling and squaring everything up when you're building it and taking your time, the much better the machine's going to work for you. The instructions were quite clear on the Langmuir website, but I have to say, the original Langmuir table, the Crossfire that I got, had a video tutorial how to build it, and I followed along and enjoyed the video series a lot more than just looking on the instructions online for this table. But I'm sure people complained and didn't like the video instructions. Of course, you can't make everybody happy, but if you just take your time with it, you're going to have a great machine in the end. So one thing that rings true with both tables is they have really nice high quality aluminum anodized bearing holders and motor brackets. Everything fits really well together. The cool thing is all the hardware is always in the packages and explains exactly what hardware goes with each step of the process of building them. One thing that's different on the Pro model is it's actually on fixed feet that are adjustable, and the smaller table actually comes with casters so you can roll it around, roll it out of the way. So that's something to consider if you have a small shop and not extra space. The smaller table might be better for you so you can roll it in the corner when you're not using it. This one's a much bigger table and it's fixed, it's solid, it's going to be in this one location. But one thing that sets this one apart, it actually has reinforcements and gussets on the legs to make the table itself a lot sturdier. So of course some of the main features that set the Pro table apart from the original is, of course, it has twice the cutting capacity as the original table, and it also has Z-axis height control, and that's massive. It's a really nice improvement. It comes stock with initial height sensing, where it will actually touch off and pierce at one height and then come down and cut at a different height, and if the tip bumps into a warped piece of metal, it'll step it up 1/16 of an inch. But right here I opted to get the torch height control, which is a nice feature, and it will actually sense voltage between the metal and the tip, and it will adjust your torch up and over any warped metal and bring it back down again. So it's a nice little extra option if you're doing a lot of thin metal and cutting out artwork, or just want to be more efficient when you're cutting metal. So here I'm wiring up the second half of the torch height control to my plasma torch. Some nicer plasma torches actually have a voltage divider, so it's just plug and play. The torch lead. So I just ran this little lead right through the front of the grill, zip tied it so it can't get tugged out, zip tied the excess here in case I switch it to another plasma torch at some point. And this was the black one, this goes to the torch, and I actually just hooked it up here. I'll get a close-up shot. I hooked it up to a lug on the circuit board. Keep in mind this plasma torch is of course unplugged. The clamp lead. So simple enough, just loosen that lug bolt right there
and I just slid a little connection in there that I soldered on, put some heat shrink tubing. That is the red, goes to the clamp side. Alright, you guys, got all the programs loaded on a computer. Matter of fact, this is a new computer. I really didn't want to make that purchase, but my old hand-me-down laptop that I had, I drew up some parts in Fusion 360 the other night, shut it down just like typical, closed the top, came back to the next day, the thing wouldn't start up. It was toast. So picked around with that, couldn't get it working, so made a purchase I didn't really want to. Hopefully this one lasts a long time. Knock on wood. Got water on the water table, gonna do some test cuts and try to make some parts on here this evening. If you set up a plasma table, really admire it and enjoy it clean like this, because it will never be this clean from this point moving on. I hope you're not perfectionists and like things perfectly spotless, because these tables slowly, all the slats get themselves pretty much cut apart. It's just a part of cutting with the process. I'll show you guys a Crossfire that I have over here, and it's after 4 months of heavy use on it. It works great, but the slats are all cut up. It's just a part of it. So it's looking nice here, but we're going to start cutting on this thing and making some parts. It's going to get dirtied up, but that's fine, because we're going to make some good products out of this thing. So let's do some test cuts here and make some parts. So here's a little part I'm going to test cut right here. So instead of cutting something kind of technical like this for my tester, I like to cut on thin sheet metal. It's going to be mainly cut out a 1/4 inch or 3/16 when I get ready, but I don't have much of that metal left over right now, so we're going to cut on this. And this is going to be the first cut attempted on this table, and I don't expect it to actually cut right. I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to set my zero. There's a lot of unknowns on here for me right now, so I'm going to make a test cut, and I'm sure we have to probably make a few of these before we figure out what's going on here. All right, let's get cutting. Torch is about an 1/8 inch off the metal. We're going to hit start and just see what we get here. We got it zeroed to that corner.
So keep in mind this sheet of metal is pretty flat, but if you look at the Z-axis little coupler at the top, you can actually see it when the torch is down, shifting a little bit, like 1/8 of a turn, in little increments, just varying just to keep that torch height voltage properly. It's kind of neat to see that actually working throughout the whole process of the cut.
Yeah, so far so good. Well, cut all the way through that. That was the first attempt, and actually looked like it turned out pretty good on that test cut. I'm happy about that. All right, here's the first cut. This is just a tester. Looks like it turned out pretty good. That was great. A lot better than my first test. The first test on the Langmuir Systems Crossfire, I had a few speed issues, which I didn't really have the feed speed set right, but of course I know how to make my tool pass a lot better now, so I kind of ballparked it for this one, and I'm really happy with that. So got another part cut. Excellent. Alright you guys, I'm really new to this FireControl program, but instantly I can tell it's definitely a step up from the Mach 3. As you know, I'm not a big fan of the Mach 3. It worked, and I used it. I just ran the demo. I couldn't bring myself to spend a few $100s on it, but this comes with this table, which is nice. Free, which is cool. So anyways, it's got some really nice simple features. It's touchscreen capable, which I like that. It makes you feel like you're operating more of a machine than just using a mouse on a computer screen. It's got really nice big buttons, easy to get to, and it's got these really nice inches per minute incremental speed changes and jog distances. So I'll bring you guys in closer and show you that. It's very simple to zero out. So let's take a closer look at the screen here. So if you want to jog the table, you got these arrows down here. It's in step mode right now. You want to go continuous. I'll move it around. And if you use the mouse on it, it will just go as long as you have the button held down. And as soon as you let off, it stops. But you got 300 inches per minute, 200, 100, so 10 inches per minute, really slow. You got the continuous 16th inch for just little tiny incremental steps over to edge it along the side if you're trying to zero it on a corner of a piece of metal. It's got 1/8 inch, got 1/4 inch adjustments, and you got 1 inch. Super nice. And when you get to where you want, you just hit the button and you zero out all your axis. Pretty helpful. And of course you got a nice big window here to show what you got going. There's some other features over here if you buy the optional torch height control. But it's a pretty good little program. Alright, got some 3/16 on here. Got another tool path with the proper cut speed for this. I'm going to do some time lapse, bring you guys along, just time lapse this, cutting out quick, cut out my other parts. So I actually got to make some stuff tonight and keep up with that articulation truck build. Kind of on a schedule here. So cut out some parts and I'll bring you guys back and show you all the pieces and the final product. Alright, so here's the little jack shaft kit I cut on my CNC table. And the really cool thing about it is this setup with the changing out some sprockets, I'll get 6:1 gear ratio and I can get 8:1 with this, and actually anywhere in between. But the really cool thing with the CNC is you can cut square holes. It's really hard to do that in a drill press. If you ever price out a square cutting drill bit, they're super costly. Alright, let's get welding this. So there's that jack shaft assembly I built for this articulating dump truck build. It's been really neat learning CAD. I'm kind of new to it. I've only been doing it for the last 6 months or so, around when I got that original Crossfire table. And it's amazing what you can do. I just got the Pro recently. I'm really excited about possibly making up little kits and stuff like that and try doing a little more manufacturing and things like this. But the sky's the limit of what you want to build with this thing. Even that simple basic Crossfire model, you can do a lot. Almost the whole articulating truck build was done on that table. I'll put a little link to it. You should really recommend going back and checking out my video series on that. You can kind of really see what you can do with those tables, at least what I've learned how to do with them. It's amazing when you start drawing up parts in CAD, you can get perfect hole patterns, bolt patterns. You can draw parts so they nest together, so you can actually make it a lot easier for assembly. When you go to put something like this together, you can make it easier on yourself. You're mostly just checking to make sure parts are square and 90 to each other, and you can tack weld it and finish off the welds. Another thing that's interesting, it's changed really how I do things in my shop and think about building projects. Like I said, you can make parts nest together, so when you go to assemble them, there's almost like a kit. That's really neat. You always got this stuff on record, on file if you want to do it. I don't mind cutting a part out for a one-off piece if I want a specialty piece, but it's also neat to be able to duplicate. If you make a part like for the articulating dump truck, I had to make wheel hangers to hold the wheels, the front hub assemblies on the frame, and I had to make 4 plates identical for the front wheels and then 4 plates for the back wheels. Drew up those parts. Takes me about 45 seconds to cut them out. With a drill, metal cutting bandsaw, and angle grinder, it probably would have been 40 minutes per plate, and I probably wouldn't have had the hole patterns exactly perfect. So stuff like that's really awesome to be able to duplicate parts. hole patterns and all that stuff is amazing too. And if you don't like a part, you can go back to CAD and redesign it and draw it up and change the hole pattern size or anything like that. Another interesting thing is, you know, we're all pretty busy. I work 40 to 50 hours a week and a lot of commuting. I have a family, I like to spend time with them, so I don't get a lot of time in my shop. What I found that you can do is, my shop's wood, I heat it with the wood stove. It's cold in the winter if I come down here for an hour in the evening. Instead of being cold in my shop, drawing up a part, I can do it after dinner in my warm house, or at lunch break at my work. If I have my laptop, I can draw up a part. You can even be at the beach or something with your family. If you bring your computer, you can draw up a simple part. It's kind of on the go whenever it fits into your life. And I found that it's much easier to drop a part in my day when I have 15-20 extra minutes, drop a few parts, and next time I get time to come down to my shop for an hour, I can cut the parts out and maybe assemble them. It's pretty amazing once you have the parts drawn. It doesn't take that long and you can cut the stuff out really quickly, and it's really changed how I do things and how I approach projects now. So hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video talking about the Pro here that I got. If you guys are interested, look at some of my videos on my channel. In the last 6 months or so, I've been using the original Crossfire a lot, and I've been really happy with it. You can start seeing some of the projects I've done with it. And I think having the Pro is just going to take it to the next level here. So thanks again for checking out the video, guys. All right, take care. Bye.